January 1st, 1983, New Year's night in New Orleans, a city that had been painted blue by the fans of Penn State University, and a deep shade of red from visitors who came from the state of Georgia. A city that had found itself in the midst of the single most important event in the history of college football for the 1982 season, a season which had ended a month earlier. Here in the Louisiana Superdome on this New Year's night, the Sugar Bowl had brought together the nation's top two football teams of the 1982 season. The Sugar Bowl had brought to New Orleans a national championship between the top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, #1 in the USA at the end of the regular season, and Penn State, #2 in those rankings. It was for sure a dream of a bowl game. There was no question anywhere in the USA the Sugar Bowl would decide the national champion of NCAA football for 1982. The only question was, who would it be? Penn State or Georgia? The university bands lined up for the national anthem prior to the kickoff. Coach Vince Dooley's Bulldogs take the field, followed immediately by the Penn State Lions, coached by Joe Paterno. Referee Vance Carlson's flip would be called correctly by the Penn State captains.
Which captain is going to call the toss? All right, this is the flipping call. You call it in the air, please. If I drop it, I'll throw it up in the air.
And the Lions get set to receive Kevin Butler's kickoff.
You may have this at the middle of the game. You may kick or receive or defend either goal.
And here it comes, the national championship and the Sugar Bowl, January 1st, 1983. The boot sails deep into the end zone where it's down by Tony Mumford. Penn State is underway, 2nd and 6 at the Lion 24. Todd Blackledge is the quarterback. And he finds Curt Warner open for 7. And a first down. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Blackledge passing again. This time to Mike McCloskey for 33 yards over the vaunted Bulldog defensive secondary. From the Georgia 36, Blackledge goes for 3 in a row. He finds Greg Garrity open for a 27-yard gain to the Bulldog 9. After another Blackledge completion for 7 to tight end Mike McCloskey, setting the ball at Georgia's 2-yard line, Curt Warner sweeps left for the game's first touchdown. The Lions are out in front. And a jubilant Penn State bench reacts. Nick Gancitano's conversion is true, and Penn State is on the board 7-zip with less than 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Vince Dooley's Dogs get set to react to the suddenness of the Penn State offense. Massimo Manca's kickoff is down by Jimmy Harrell in the end zone. The running game is Georgia's power attack, and on 2nd and 10 at the Dog 20, Chris McCarthy gets 10 off left tackle. Mark Robinson makes the stop. The 3-time All-American Herschel Walker gets the call next and picks up 5 on this right side sweep. Dan Biondi brings him down. On a 3rd and 3 at Georgia's 37, it's Walker again, taking the pitch from quarterback John Lastinger for 8 more, and a 1st and 10 at the 45. It's 3rd and 8 at the 47. Lastinger sets for a pass and finds Clarence Kay open. The gain is for 16, and the Bulldogs are in business at Penn State's 37. 2nd and 6 at the Lion 33. And number 34, Georgia's Mr. Football for 3 sensational seasons, gets the call again, responding with a gain of 12 to the 21. The next play cost the Dogs 5 yards for offsides, but on 1st and 15 at the 26, Walker goes student body right for 11 to State's 15. Lastinger then called his own number for 5 more at the right side, and Georgia appeared primed for a game-tying touchdown. But State's defense toughened on the next 3 plays, forcing Butler into this 27-yard field goal attempt. It was good, and the Classic Sugar had a 7-3 score with 6:05 left in the first quarter. Penn State's ball now coming up, and the Big Blue fans are cheering in the east side stands. 1st and 10 at their 32. Blackledge now 6 of 7 on completions, and he connects with Kenny Jackson for 23 yards to Georgia's 45. He plays later. Curt Warner finds a crease at left end and picks up 26 yards. He's stopped by Ronnie Harris at the Bulldog 21. A pair of Blackledge aerials missed the target, forcing a 4th and 10 field goal try by Gancitano. It measured 38 yards, all of them good. The Pennsylvanians up their lead 10-3. The game's next 2 exchanges brought no changes to the board, but offer a look at one of Penn State's unsung heroes. Watch now as Broadway's punt is taken by State's Kevin Baugh at the 7. He runs right past a bunch of tacklers on a thrilling 66-yard return to the Georgia 27. Warner got 5 around the left side on this first down situation. But the Bulldog defenders stiffened and prompted Coach Joe Paterno to call for another field goal effort. This one by Gancitano would have measured 47 yards, but it was wide to the left. And Georgia would take possession at their 30. 1st and 10, Dogs. And the call goes to Walker, who has 45 yards and 9 carries at this point. Herschel goes right side for 12 more before Scott Radisick brings him down. But again, State's defense proved worthy to a national championship task. On 3rd and 7, Lastinger's pass is deflected by Mark Robinson. Broadway is back to punt, gets off this 44-yarder, giving us another opportunity to watch the run-back style of Kevin Baugh, taking it in at the 11 and returning 24 yards. From their 35, Penn State primes the offensive pump behind the stylish arm of Todd Blackledge. He fades, fires, and finds Greg Garrity open along the right sideline for 36 yards, a first down at Georgia's 29. John Williams gets the call. He goes 11 at right tackle. Jeff Sanchez brings him down. It's Williams again on a 2nd and 7 at the 15, and again this time it's for 6 off left guard. From the 9 now, Blackledge will hand off to the gifted Curt Warner, and the senior halfback responds with a stunning right end run into the end zone. A replay. Curt Warner, the senior halfback who has had a sensational career at Penn State. Gancitano's conversion is true, and Penn State has a very impressive 17-3 lead up on the national title. Massimo Manca kicks off for the Lions with less than 3 minutes left in the first half. Manca's kick is fumbled out of bounds by Keith Montgomery at the Georgia 8-yard line. 3 running plays got the Dogs only 6+ yards, forcing this 4th down punt from the 14. Broadway hits a 40-yarder to Baugh, and he'll get 10 on the return to the State 44-yard line. Blackledge with 1:14 on the clock uses time judiciously. He hits Mike McCloskey with this 13-yarder. And the 6'5" tight end from Philly Wisely steps out of bounds at the 31. After a pair of passes failed and a running play got only 3 yards, State went for this 45-yard field goal by Gancitano. The sophomore from Coral Springs nails it perfectly, and Penn State has a seemingly insurmountable 20-3 first half advantage. There's less than a minute on the clock as Manca kicks off from the 35. Herschel Walker, the Heisman Trophy winner, is in the deep position. His return is from the 11 to the Bulldog 34. With 39 seconds remaining, Georgia begins one of the most exciting drives in recent Bulldog football history. It begins with Lastinger completing a 17-yarder to Clarence Kay. 2 plays later, it's Lastinger throwing again. This one complete to Herman Archie for 13 and a first down at the line, 36. Watch now as 3 Bulldogs team for an old-fashioned razzle-dazzle. Lastinger fades and finds Kevin Harris at the 20. Harris laterals perfectly to a trailing Herschel Walker, and the Sherman tank in a football jersey brings it 10 yards further. And a replay on some exciting Sugar Bowl football. Lastinger to Harris, Harris to Walker. Lastinger from the 10 finds Archie in the end zone. And Georgia is very much back in a game that just 40 seconds earlier may have appeared literally out of reach. Butler's point after puts the halftime score of Penn State 20, Georgia 10. And a sellout Superdome crowd sat back to watch a relaxing halftime, fully anticipating a battle royal to follow. And in the best of Sugar Bowl tradition, the halftime featured 2 of the nation's finest university marching bands. First, the Penn State Blue Band under the direction of Ned Deal. And the Redcoats of Georgia were led by H. Dwight Satterwhite. Second half action begins as Manka kicks off for Penn State. Savannah senior Chris McCarthy returns from his 20 to the 36, and the Dogs get set for a critical drop. After 2 plays fail the gain following a procedure penalty, Georgia faces a 3rd and 15 at the 31. Lastinger finds Kevin Harris open over the middle for 24 yards to the Lion 45. 2nd and 6 at the 41, and Lastinger drops back again to pass. He throws deep for freshman flanker Herman Archie in the end zone, and it just misses. Valdosta's John Lastinger is determined, playing what had to be his best game ever as a Bulldog quarterback. He finds Harris open again for 11 and a first down at the 30. Lastinger then called Herschel's number for 3 consecutive runs. The first gets 4, the second 3 more, and here on a 3rd and 3 at the 23, Walker gets 7. It's Chris McCarthy's turn now, and the Bulldog fullback runs off the right side. Breaks through to the 1 before safety Mark Robinson brings him down. And now it's Herschel Walker doing what he's done so well for 3 fabulous years at Georgia. Running right side and a touchdown for the Bulldogs. Butler's point after is good, and a frenzied Bulldog following goes wild as the scoreboard reads Penn State 20, Georgia 17. And we got a ball game at the Sugar Bowl. For the remaining 10.5 minutes, solid defense controlled the game's tempo. Here's State in a 4th and 17 at their 30. Jack Amaro punting a 55-yard boom at Jimmy Harrell. Harrell got 5 on the return, but an illegal block put the Dogs to work back at their 9. The Penn State defensive game cracked the heart of the Bulldog attack in the second half. It all but stopped Walker. Here, junior tackle Greg Gattuso drops him for a loss of 2. Lastinger from his 7, roll to the right. Threw deep for the 6'5 speedster Herman Archie. But Mark Robinson pulls off an intercept at the State 45. And he'll run it back to Georgia's 37. With excellent field position, Blackledge goes to work with this completion to Warner in the left flat. But State will lose 16 yards on a clip. 3 plays later, a 2nd and 16 at the Bulldog 43. Blackledge throws long for McCloskey. It's just off his fingertips. 3rd and 16 now coming up for Penn State. Blackledge calls for the air game again. But it's sack time for the Bulldogs, and 243-pound senior tackle Jimmy Payne does the honors. Penn State punts. Georgia plays the 1st and 10 at their 15. Walker runs his favorite side and picks up 3 with John Walder on the tackle. 3rd and 1 at the 24. Herschel goes up the middle, but inside linebacker Roger Puz puts the stop on Herschel, forcing another Bulldog punt. Bulldog defense shows its best as Dale Carver puts the clamps on John Williams. On 3rd and 10, Blackledge experiences another sack, this one by defensive end Freddie Gilbert, a 230-pound junior from Griffin, Georgia. Tomorrow's punt followed. An 18-yarder, putting the Dogs in business at their 45. Walker runs left, but gains just 2 as defensive end Steve Sefter makes the stop. The bottom drops out of the Georgia drive on this 3rd and 5 situation when Lastinger fades to pass, scrambles right, and then throws long for tight end Norris Brown. But again, Mark Robinson is lying on the spot, intercepting at the 19. Quarter ends with State in front 20-17, and a national championship battle has 15 minutes of action remaining. State's ball, 1st and 10 now, coming up at the Penn State 30. Curt Warner is hitting his offensive stride, running left as he picks up 11 yards before Roger Jackson brings him down. 2nd and 5 at the 46. Warner again goes left for 7 more. Stan Dooley on the stop for the Bulldogs. The most exciting pass play of the Classic coming up. Blackledge sets to pass. He throws long for a streaking Greg Garrity. The senior wide receiver from Bradford Woods, PA, makes a superb catch. A diving catch in the end zone. A 47-yard thriller. Gancitano connects again on the point after, and Penn State extends their reach on the national title 27-17. Let's watch again on a truly great pass play. Todd Blackledge closing out his career for Penn State. Greg Garrity, the greatest thrill in this young man's career. What a catch. What a play. Six minutes remain as State holds to its 10-point lead. Broadway punts for the Dogs from his 14. But Baugh fumbles the return at the State 43. And Mel Simmons recovers for Georgia. Mo Menem and John Lastinger join hands for Georgia. The junior quarterback rolls left and throws to sophomore Kevin Harris for 16 yards and a first down at the Penn State 27. Lastinger passing again, rolling right this time and finding Clarence K open for 9 more yards. Herschel Walker gets the call next, and he picks up 6 on a left side sweep. The Bulldogs now have a 1st and 10 at the Lion 12-yard line. 3rd and 7 at the 9. Lastinger calls for a pass. He has to scramble toward the right, throws back across the field to Clarence K at the goal line. With 3:54 on the clock, it's a new ball game again. Again, Lastinger scrambling right, throwing across the grain. Touchdown, Bulldogs, 27-23. Penn State leads only by 4. Georgia goes for 2 on the conversion try. Walker gets the call on student body right, but he stops short. The scoreboard shows Penn State in front, 27-23. With time now the game's key factor. Butler kicks off for Georgia as State must battle for possession, and the Georgians must strive for one more offensive series. Kevin Baugh returns the kickoff from the 12 to the 14. Curt Warner gets the first call, and he picks up 7 off left guard. A critical drive for Penn State. Second effort, third effort by Warner. 2nd and 3 at the 21. Curt Warner again for 2 more with Tommy Thurston on the tackle. And a key call coming up. 3rd and 1. Blackledge calls for a keeper. He goes straight ahead up the middle for 2 yards and a big first down at the Penn State 25. Setback 5 for illegal procedure. The Lions are 1st and 15. John Williams goes off left guard for 7. 2nd and 8. Williams again on the carry. Again at the left side, this time for 5. 3rd and 3 at the Lion 32 coming up. A gutty call by Penn State Blackledge. He's passing. Greg Garrity is open for 6 crucial yards and a clock-winding first down. The game will end 4 plays later as Ralph Giacomo punts into the end zone. Superdome scoreboard says it all. Penn State 27, Georgia 23. The Lions are wild, and wild they should be. A national championship has come to Penn State. Joe Paterno has guided his talented Lions to a long-awaited national title, and surely a most deserving championship for this man and his football team. Nearly 80,000 leave the Superdome having witnessed one of the truly great Sugar Bowl classics. A game that would also be witnessed by a record-setting national ABC television audience. The Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, January 1st, 1983. A national championship for Penn State.